Got breaking news from the NBA, which has handed down a lifetime ban on Jontay Porter for violating the league's gambling rules. The league said an investigation revealed that while playing for the Raptors, Porter disclosed confidential information to bettors, limited his playing time for betting purposes, and bet on NBA games. Adam Silver, the commissioner for the NBA, releasing a statement earlier today saying, quote, "There is nothing more important than protecting the integrity of NBA competition for our fans, our teams, and everyone associated with the sport." He went on to say, which is why Jontay Porter's blatant violation of our gaming rules are being met with the most severe punishment. It is severe indeed. So let's bring in our NBA insider, Bill Ryder, to discuss Jontay Porter. The news here, Bill, Adam Silver is clearly wanting to stomp this out early, making an example out of Porter. I just love your reaction to this news now that we've seen it come directly from the NBA.
Yeah, Haley, you're right. I talked to some league officials a few months ago before this news came out and this investigation began. And they express this as their nightmare scenario. They understand, like all professional sports leagues understand now, that gambling's part of their reality, but navigating it so these sorts of things don't happen is the ultimate goal. And while it's not on the NBA, it's obviously a terrible day for the NBA. And while, Haley, the expectation was if the NBA's investigation found that Jontay Porter bet at all on NBA games of any kind, he would be suspended for life as he's been. I still think it's shocking because the fact that he bet on his own team to lose, which is one of the things the NBA's investigation found, it is stunning. I mean, he's not a star like Pete Rose, but is Pete Rose in the level to which this dirties the game and soils the NBA's attempts to separate the gambling reality from the sports reality. The fact that their investigation found that he did, in fact, as the initial report suggested and what led to the investigation, bet on himself or leak information to allow bets on himself in a parlay involving his play, and the allegation that he feigned being sick in order to come hit some of the unders, it is an eyebrow raiser. It is a very, very big deal. Credit the NBA for getting the information and moving swiftly. But these are ugly facts the NBA has revealed about what Jontay Porter allegedly did. And it makes sense from the NBA's perspective that he will never play in the association again.
Yeah.
Let me break it down from this perspective. I think that the integrity of the league is most important because that's the determining factor for whether or not fans actually want to participate in what's going on in the league itself, right? If there's no integrity in the games, if we don't actually believe, regardless of whether or not we think it's rigged or not, if we can't prove it is one thing, but if we can't believe that what is happening is really happening on the floor, it takes away the excitement from the fans. Because then you can't believe that, oh my God, LeBron is doing this when obviously we know it's probably set up for him to win that way, right? Or you see all of the money associated with it, and it makes it 10 times worse considering that now the NBA is basically embracing betting on games and advertising, and it's too much money. That's what it comes back down to at the end of the day. The integrity translates into the money. And then the money translates into the coffers of the players and the league owners and whatever likes that, so on and so forth. And so to be so stupid, let me tell you how dumb this guy is. He was leaking information for people to be able to make major bets against him. And then he went out and he did the exact thing that he wasn't supposed to do as far as betting against his own team to lose. And then betting against it, like he would like feign being sick in the middle of the game in order to hit some of the unders. And then when you start to look at all of the stats, because you know that they all work in concert with each other, right? When you go and look at who's wagering what, if you just so happen to be wagering a bunch of money on Porter, on Jontay Porter, who bets on Jontay Porter? You know what I'm saying? Like, who wagers a whole lot of money on Jontay Porter? Let me tell you how dumb this guy is, right? Porter earned $2.3 million over 3 seasons from the Grizzlies. Let me see if I can pull this up. $2.3 million over 3 seasons with the Grizzlies. He came in 2019, 2020 with the COVID-19 shortened season at $200,000, basically, $197,933. 2020 to 2021. Made $1.9 million, right? Like his career earnings from the NBA come out to, because he was earning $400,000 from the Raptors with his 2-way contract, to $2.7 million. So he was a fringe NBA player. And then on top of that, you also factor in the idea that, all of his expenses is paid. He was only 24 years old. If he had dedicated himself, maybe, and I don't really know how well his talent would translate into having a long-term contract, but if he had dedicated himself to his craft, then maybe that would have translated into a longer NBA career. But more importantly, now he has a stain on his name and he has a lifetime ban because they had to make an example out of him. He was the perfect person to make an example out of. Why? Because he was a fringe two-way player, only making $400,000 a year. They can punish him without it being a major player because, like, if it's a major NBA star, which I don't think that any of those guys is dumb enough to fumble a 20, 30, 40, $50 million contract. If it's a major NBA star, then it puts a huge stain on it. But if it's a fringe two-way player, then they can make an example out of you, and then you fumble the bag for the rest of your life. And then forever, you will be known as the person that is banned from the NBA because according to the articles, according to, I believe this is NBC that I'm looking at right here, they saying that he only profited 3 of these bets were parlays, which require multiple correct results, with one calling for a Toronto loss. So he's betting on his own team to lose. He ended up only profiting $21,965. So $22,000 profit. You make $400,000 a year from all of the wagers. Unreal. Unfreaking real. Makes no sense whatsoever. But, and you know what the worst part about it is? He's the younger brother, according to this. I didn't even know this part. It says Porter is the younger brother, according to USA Today, of Michael Porter Jr., a small forward with the Denver Nuggets. Jontay Porter played basketball at Missouri from 2017 to 2019, and he earned the SEC Sixth Man of the Year and an SEC All-Freshman honors in 2018. So he probably, one of the reasons that he was only, even had an NBA career in the first place is because of his brother. His brother gave him the alley-oop for him to go ahead and get that bag inside of the NBA. And now, not only do you sully your name for being out here finessing, but you also sully your brother's name, who was also a part of the NBA and is getting to that bag because Michael Porter Jr.'s current salary, the average salary, is crazy. Jeez. How do you fumble that type of bag? How do you fumble that type of reputation? You will never be able to live down the fact that you was out here and you are the first NBA player that officially received a lifetime ban for gambling. Gambling. And they had to make an example out of you. Had to. And you only made $21,000 off of that, $22,000 off of that. Well, you better hope your brother take care of you because you out here fumbling the bag. You can't get right, brother, huh? The only thing that I could possibly think of that would justify somebody doing something stupid like this is he had to be in deep with bookies. That got to be the part of the conversation that's not being included because it will really, really put a stain on the NBA itself. But he got to be in bad with bookies. Have to be. Because there's no way that you can justify moving like this as an NBA player and having access and a fame and all of this stuff, and you're only 24 years old, which means that you got the whole world ahead of you. And your brother's in there, and that means that you're going to be embarrassing your brother too. I'm curious as to what you guys think. Make sure you tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Also, we got the live stream tonight, so that should be popping off. I love you guys. I appreciate y'all. Don't be a crash dummy like him. Don't be a crash dummy like Jontay Porter. It's unfortunate. Gosh, fumble in the bag. Freaking idiot.